everybody. I wanted to come to you today with a couple of tips for this transition to the online classroom. Many of you may not know this, but I do teach online for the state of Georgia, and I wanted to share some of the things that kind of help us in our online classroom. And the very first thing that I want to let you know is that our students have assignments that are assigned to them each and every day. However, we have specific assignment due dates. So for our online classroom, the across the board policy is a Wednesday deadline. While we may not come together and have a specific deadline that we're going to use as a school, you may want to set aside an official deadline for all of your assignments for the next few weeks that we are in this online classroom setting. So, with that, you may want to front load your week. Maybe you assign in your Google Classroom that all of your assignments roll out on a Monday, and then they are all due by that following Friday, or whatever works best for you. Just think about that. Also with that, our students start off the year with a pacing guide, and the pacing guide looks like this, and we are broken down into 18, 16, 14, and 12-week sessions, and so each of those sessions has their own pacing guide. In the pacing guide, you're going to see that students will have module numbers, and they'll also have their lessons with any assignments that might be due that day. While we encourage the students to turn in their assignments on the day that they see it on their pacing guide, ultimately they have until that Wednesday deadline to get those assignments in. So think about that and think about how maybe something like this would work for you, where you could just kind of front load everything at the beginning of the week and then have your assignment due date at the end of the week. With our pacing guides, it's very, right there, plain and simple for the students. They know this is the unit that we're working on, this is the lesson that we're working on, and then this is the assignment that I should be working on that day. I plan to utilize something very similar to this over the next few weeks. I plan on getting the April calendar and taking a look at all the days that we have and the assignments that topics that I haven't gotten to yet thus far. And then I'm going to plot out kind of a roadmap for my students and for myself so that we can kind of stay on track. So I'll probably send this out to my students either through Remind or through their Google Classroom, post it there as well. And then that kind of saves me time so that now I can go into our Google Classroom daily and just post content that kind of goes along with the assignments that they are supposed to be working on that week. This also frees up time for you to go ahead and answer those emails. We have office hours that we utilize on the online classroom setting as well. And so I plan to bring that into my Prattville High digital learning space as well. So that's a tip. The other thing is I do not go live with my students daily in the online classroom. We are told to do weekly sessions with our students at least once a week for 1 hour. And so I have my sessions every Friday from 3:30 to 4:30. And I plan to do the same thing. I'm going to offer each of my classes that same time frame on different days because I teach multiple classes throughout the day at Prattville. I'll signify for each of those classes when I'm going to be available in some form or fashion for an online, meetup so that we can discuss any content related questions, or I can review with them, or if they have questions about the assignments, then that's a good time to come to one of my sessions. So I wanted to kind of let you know that is kind of how our online class kind of runs in Georgia for Georgia Virtual School. And those are some of the same things that I plan to bring to my classroom for Prattville in our new digital learning space that we have. I want to encourage you, if you have any questions about making that transition into the online setting, that I'm here and I'm available to kind of just talk over anything that you may want to know or to kind of just bounce ideas off of somebody. Contact me and we can, hopefully work through any questions that you might have. I really think that a pacing guide would work well in this new transition. That way all of the information is out there. The students know exactly when they enter your Google Classroom what they should be working on, and then navigate right to that area in your classroom. But I don't want you to feel like you're overwhelmed and that you have to go live with your students each and every day. If that might be an issue that you kind of have right now, know that, you know, in virtual schools across America, that's not specifically what happens every single day. So it's not saying that you can't do that. I mean, if you go live every day, kudos to you. But just kind of do what you feel comfortable with doing. Make sure that you are posting daily something, and you can go ahead and front load those on a Sunday night so that they schedule out every, you know, day of the week. Something appears in your Google Classroom, just so that you keep that connection with your students. So if I don't see you, I hope that you stay safe and stay well, and I can't wait to see you all again.